Alright, so this is a review on Gladys Knight and Pip's album. It's called Imagination, and the artwork is just basically, it does leave you room for imagination because it's like white background with a hint of them, well, Gladys Knight and the Pips in the middle, but it's like, are they holding the frame? Yeah, they're holding the frame, so you got to use your imagination. So that's kind of creative, not even kind of creative, that is creative when you deep it, like raw. But anyway, let's get into the album. So there is basically, there's 13 tracks. Alright, so you got Midnight Train to Georgia, I've Got to Use My Imagination, Storms of Troubled Times, Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, Once in a Lifetime Thing, Where Peaceful Waters Flow, I Can See Clearly Now, Perfect Love, Window Raising Granny, and then there is Midnight Train to Georgia, the single version, and you got Midnight Train to Georgia, the short version, and Window Raising Granny, the single version, and Midnight Train to Georgia instrumental. So it's worth saying, obviously, man weren't even born in that era, innit? Let's not even lie. Man weren't born in that era. Man weren't even thought of in that era. Maybe I was I? I don't know. But I wasn't born in that era. So that's interesting to hear this song. But I remember listening to a lot of Gladys Knight's tunes, and the Pips. My foster mum, she would regularly play her music, especially when it comes to cleaning on a Saturday. Like, you'd be sleeping, yeah? Imagine this. Why do black parents do this, yeah? Maybe I shouldn't just say black parents, but it is a kind of stereotype. But kids are sleeping. The first thing the parents do, they don't wake up the kids, right? They allow them to sleep. It's Saturday. You can only sleep up until a certain time. Yeah, there's a certain time, and then they try to get you up. Yeah, and what's interesting is, you're either gonna wake up to the music being blazed on the stereo system, right? Or your siblings or whatever gonna wake you up, or your parents gonna wake you up. But you're hearing the music in the back. You're hearing the music while you're waking up. You know how mad that is. Like, don't get me wrong, I like that vibe. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like that vibe. It is what it is. Get me? But it's interesting. So, as soon as you wake up, have your shower. After you have your shower, you gotta go clean the house. You gotta do your specific chore. Like, who else can relate to that? Leave your answer in the comment section below. If you can relate to that, leave your answer in the section below. Hashtag I can relate. Hashtag I can relate. Yeah, because why? That's interesting. Whether you're black, white, Asian, I still want you to hashtag I can relate if you can genuinely relate. But yeah. So the song that I'm more familiarized with is Midnight Train to Georgia, and I Can See Clearly Now. But I'm more used to the I Can See Clearly Now from a man. When I hear that song, I think of the other version, not this version, which is fine. Still a good version, don't get me wrong. And what's interesting around this era is there are particular songs where groups or singers would reuse someone else's song, but they still do it in their own unique way, which is, I find that interesting. I find that interesting, and yeah, I find it very, very interesting. So it just, helps. I guess it's a thing of helping them get more dough from the music. I don't know, because obviously if you're covering a song, then it's a thing where that artist or that songwriter, the original songwriter, is gonna get more money from it. You see what I mean? And in those days, I don't know the economics in terms of the music industry back then, but I don't think, I don't think most artists got their just deserve, if that makes sense. I don't think they got what they really deserve. You see what artists are getting now. You see the deals that Michael Jackson was able to create, or Prince managed to create, um, and also Master P, and you see what I mean. Like with these people, they were able to see the problems and solve some of the problems, and there's still some problems are still going on that to me don't make no sense. Because if you're me, as I want to be in the music industry, right? At one point, you would study the music industry. You would study, okay, wait. So this is what I need. This is the type of contract they want to offer me. Now, obviously, you can never really tell what contract they want to offer you, but if you know what they normally try to offer people, you have the upper hand. And when you have the upper hand and you know your worth, you are able to take it to the next level and say, it's this or nothing. There's no compromise because you know your worth. Alright, you may compromise just a little, but you know your worth, so you won't compromise to the point where you strip out your worth just for money's sake or just for the opportunity's sake. You see what I mean? But anyway, back to the album. Overall, it's weird. I don't want to say the album is dated because it's not dated. Don't get it twisted. But you can tell the era that it's from. Do you see what I mean? So for me, you can tell. Alright, look at this. Look at it this way. You know they say 90s R&B is not the same anymore. Blah blah blah. That's R&B, bruv. Do you get it? It's like soul R&B. That is R&B. Are you deep in this? That's R&B. That is soul. But then when you hear soul in the 90s and R&B in the 90s, the sound is different. Do you see what I mean? They both sound great, don't get it twisted, but it's different. Do you see what I mean? So I think it's interesting with the dynamics of how the sound has changed over the years, but it's just one of those things. And then what else is there? So back to the album as well. I don't have a particular favourite. I'm not even going to say what a favourite is, but let me know what your favourite is. Even answer the comment section below. Well, yeah, you know the deal. I take one song, if it's in context or out of context, it is what it is. I'm going to use the name of the album, which is called Imagination. And yeah, because when it comes down to life in general, you have to, like, whatever you want to achieve in life, yeah, personal or career-wise or business-wise, whatever, you have to use your imagination, yeah? It first starts off in your mind, yeah? It starts off in your mind. And what happens is, you get yourself into a situation where you can get, if it's a negative situation you don't want to get out of, or you don't want to be in, you can imagine yourself out of the situation and work yourself out of the situation. I know it sounds a bit mad, innit? But bear with me. If you click the link in the description box below, you get access to online courses such as, healthcare. Because in that course there, that's where you're going to learn how to strengthen your mental health. When you strengthen your mental health, then you're able to use your imagination in ways that you would never, no, I don't want to say never, but it's like, you'll be able to use your imagination properly. Do you see what I mean? You see how kids got a wild imagination? You will still be able to have a wild imagination as an adult. How do you think certain people get as big as they get? Or they get to where they get to? And it's like, do you see what I mean? In terms of success, they use their imagination. And granted, they use some other people's imagination to, create the idea and make it possible. Do you see what I mean? And that's it. You connect with those type of people. It's good to have a wild imagination. It's good. Don't ever down yourself or down other people for having a wild imagination. But anyway, listen. If you click the another link in the description box below, the link that I tell you to click on is to the album Imagination by Gladys Knight and the Pips. Yeah, go stream that. Go buy that. Go listen to that. I don't care how old or how young you are. Go listen to that album. You understand? Go listen to that album. You're going to need to listen to it. I'm giving the album 10 out of 10. Yeah? Because at the end of the day, it got to the point where it has aged well. Yeah? There's some albums that don't age well. The albums age well. Yeah, I know I mentioned about the sound being different like you could tell the era that it came from. But that's a good thing because you know, boom, this is that era. But at the same time, it still sounds good to this day. You see what I mean? And imagine this, yeah. I was not even born when it was first released. I was hearing some of these music from this particular album, like growing up. So that's another part of it, because it's part of my childhood as well. Do you see what I mean? So that's another reason why I can add to it and say it's timeless. But there are some songs that in my childhood I'm like, what the fuck did I listen to and why? Do you see what I mean? There are some songs like that. I will never downplay that. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what those songs are right now. This is Gladys Night's Time and the Pips. So big her up, big up the Pips. And yeah, if you've got any questions, any topics you'd like for us to discuss on our videos, leave that in the comment section below. Did I rate this? I said 10 out of 10. If I didn't, I'm saying it now. So yeah.